exactly my vibe. Yeah, I would love that. Thank you.
So what goes into making kombucha? Because I know that if you do it right, it tastes pretty good, but if you do it wrong, it
Yeah.
smells and tastes like apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, that's being gentle and nice. I would say if you do it wrong, it smells and tastes like dirty feet.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it can be real bad. So making homemade kombucha, it doesn't generally, at least mine never did, but I didn't particularly like this anyway. There are ways to do it, but it doesn't end up often like the super fizzy, like GT's kombucha, the stuff
Oh
that's
yeah.
really quite popular in the United States that that is like so bubbly and so effervescent. It is obviously a carbonated beverage, but generally it's a bit tamer when you make it yourself at home. And what it involves is actually a SCOBY. It sometimes they'll call it like a mushroom, but it's more like a fungus. But it's actually a SCOBY, which stands for a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. So it's a fungal type thing,
Okay.
which looks really gnarly. It's really, really gross looking. But it's actually like that's what actually does the fermentation. It eats sugar essentially, and then ferments the tea. And it's basically got a ton of health benefits in terms of probiotics. It's actually quite good for athletes. A ton of probiotics. So really great for the immune system, great for digestive health. That sort of thing. So essentially, if you're interested, Elijah, in starting to brew your own kombucha, you need to get a SCOBY, which lucky for you, if you meet anybody who is brewing kombucha, every single time they make a batch, their mother, as we call it, has a baby and they can give
Okay.
you the baby. And it's essentially, it's just like the mushroom grows a layer. And then you can separate the two and then throw away the old one and use the new one or give it to somebody if they want to start brewing their own kombucha. And then essentially it's just tea, like sweet tea. So either green tea or black tea with a lot of sugar in it. And then you leave it in there with a couple of other things, but you leave it in your pantry essentially in safe conditions to ferment for a number of days. And the SCOBY basically digests all of the sugar and ferments the tea. And then afterwards you can do a second fermentation where that's where the really fun stuff is, where you could get to feel a little bit like a mad scientist because
Nice.
you could like try out different frozen fruits and
Oh.
herbs and all sorts of things. Yeah, it's really fun. So my very favorite combination was cherries and pineapple. And then you would add that, you would take the SCOBY out, you would bottle it with like frozen cherries and frozen pineapple, leave it for another day or so, and then take out the frozen fruit. And basically you have like cherry pineapple
Oh, that's
kombucha,
awesome.
or lemon lavender, basil. Oh my God, the possibilities are
It
endless.
sounds like a sourdough
So.
starter. Like how you have to.
Oh my God, it is.
Oh,
I
okay,
did.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also did sourdough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds like you have to
I think
feed
I've
it
done
and then let
every
it sit
single
and
fruit.
ferment, and then you can take some
It's
off the
true.
top and make it.
It's true.
Gotcha.
It's exactly the same concept. Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly the same
Me and my
concept. Yeah.
wife, we just got
Yeah.
some of my grandmother's like over 50-year-old sourdough starter. And so my wife has been trying to
That's
master it.
amazing.
And it's like a sweeter sourdough. She puts like I think it's potato flakes instead of like sugar with it or something. And it affects the taste. And
Oh,
it's phenomenal.
wow.
So we've been, yeah,
That sounds
making
so
like
good.
chemistry in the kitchen. It's crazy.
That sounds so good. It's so fun. It's such a like nice experience to be able